I waste it, I'm taking my chance. I don't need your money, I don't need advance. Cause I'm not stunting and flexing my bands. I'm saving my checks, which I'll be best. I've been really saving checks, and I've been really listening to the feeling deep inside my chest. So I just follow my heart, I listen to my intuition, I'm making a plan. Yeah, girl, about to see that I'ma get it. I be coming with the rap and I just do it every day. My dog, now I'm really making money from my motherfucking passion. You can never go expect it, well I really did. I really chased since I was a kid. Now I'm just moving all up in this bitch. Y'all wanna talk, don't know what it is. Cause I'm in it, man, I gotta go and get it, man. I'm really, really grinding, man, I do it every minute. I really came and I'm giving my soul. That's what I do, I will deliver. So I'm rhyming, I'm going so hard. Giving my word, I'm giving these balls. Giving my energy, I give it all. So I'm just back and I'm killing it, dog. Like,
I get it poppin', no cap, I keep it real, no act. Full throttle, I don't hold back, I keep it 100, no less. I don't spit it, I need the whole check. If you can't cut it, then we done here. All I wanna hear is come and collect. Give him a cent, then I'm going the rest. You in a threat, I see you upset. You talking your mess, I'm not impressed. I see him puffing up his chest. Thinking he hard, really he soft. Pulling your card, looking him stressed. We know who you are, give it a rest. We was gone for a minute, but we back now. Whole team showing, better back down. Tell him that dizzy on the track now. If you in the way, then you getting overlapped now. You know I've been raw, put the smack down. Step up to me, get smacked down. I thank God for the gift that he passed down. Now I'm about to put the whole team on the map now. Everybody, go. Silence, I don't do commotion. Tried to hide them, but I saw your motive. Haters wanna be your friends, so they see you win, then they show their true emotion. I'm focused, can't focus on you, man. I do this for me, I don't do this for you. You can say what you want, I got nothing to prove. I just stay in my bag and I get you the loot. Had to get it now, never get it on the back end. Try to take it from me, get the backhand. Black on the track when I'm rapping. Everybody know that I be a madman. When it comes to the pen and pad, I been ahead of any competition that be sitting in my bracket. I'm a beast on the beat, I'm a hazard. Even if you clone me, you could match it. You not a threat, you ain't a threat. I know you're upset. I'm making them nervous. Look at them sweat. They call me the best. I have to object. Glory to God. What you expect? I know that I'm blessed. I was gone for a minute, but we back now. Whole team showing, better back down. Tell them that dizzy on the track now. If you in the way, then you getting overlapped now. You know I've been raw, put the smack down. Step up to me, get smacked down. I thank God for the gift that he passed down. Now I'm about to put the whole team on the map now. Everybody, go.
Look at myself in the mirror and I try to notice what I'm not aware of. It's easy to notice when I don't take care of my mind and my body, but what am I scared of? I want to be perfect, I want to be worth it, I want to be good and feel like I deserve it. All of the love that I get from my family and people around me, I want to be worth it, but I don't deserve it. I'm on the surface, flirting with danger, forgetting my purpose. Life is a flicker of smoke and the liquor of coke got me sticking my head in the furnace. I feel like I'm worthless, feel like I'm letting down everyone. I don't know who can relate, is there anyone? Pray for forgiveness, don't know if it ever comes. Don't know if it ever comes. My depression don't add up, everything that I've accomplished, feeling like it don't matter. In that white Lamborghini, whip it like it's dope. Better don't mean nothing when I I feel the edges of my soul shatter, but I'm trying every day to survive, and every day meditation got me looking at my mind in every way. When the dark thoughts arise and they look into my eyes, and I breathe a little deeper, then they vanish, I realize been sitting very still at night. Every day I wake up means that I still have the will to fight. Put your mind and body to the test, the spirit will ignite. Even though I know some nights that how I'm living isn't right. The vision in my eyes is that of God and human intertwined. They call it Jesus Christ, but even I confuse the finish line with death instead of rebirth. Resurrection isn't knee-jerk, it's the presence of the seekers and the essence of the dreamers. When the weapon doesn't reach us, it's the lesson of believers. I don't claim to understand it, but my plan is just to be here for the centuries. My legacy's where my infinite essence be. Dragon bites its tail, the generations will remember me. What's a drug to enlightenment? A thug to the lion's den. A caterpillar to a butterfly in this environment. Who's lying when we trying to discover who am I within? What's louder than the sounds of all my invisible silent sins? I try again and try again and try again and try again until I let it go and just relax into my mind, and then I finally start to see it like the sunrise in the morning. That all we ever needed was this life until we're born again.
sou amigo de vocês aí, entendeu? Sou familiar. Só não sapatear e bater com as mãos na arquibancada. E eu peço a vocês, se puderem, a gente tem um cestinho de lixo aí, se puder recolher, não grudar chiclete na arquibancada, tá bom? E tem um bom evento pra vocês.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spartacus MMA proudly presents the 23rd event of the Spartacus MMA. The best way you can build your professional MMA career. Today you see 11 fights of Spartacus MMA Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome to Spartacus MMA 23 live here from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And just like the prestigious football team, we will also be on the hunt for knockouts. This evening I'm Harry Williams here for another 12 festive fights in this illustrious Grand Prix that we have going on here at Spartacus. And here we have our first contest of the night underway between Daniel and Adriano dos Santos and Matheus da Silva. Fighting out of the blue corner, Matheus da Silva, record of 0-0, making his debut here tonight. One of the fantastic things about the Spartacus MMA show is the matching period. There is nobody who gets easy fights here. As Matheus makes his way into the cage tonight for his big debut here. As we say, we can watch fights every single week here, live and free on Spartacus app. Make sure to download it from your iOS and App Store. Share your opinion with us of what you think of the fights. Matheus da Silva here, fighting of Altamiro Fight Club. awaiting his decorated opponent here in a really tough fight for the battle here out of the Alta Male Fight Club. No jitters on the show, he's looking very comfortable in there, stepping in the cage for the very first time.
And welcome to the red corner, Thiago Marques.
Thiago Marques here, making his way for this flyweight contest, fighting out of the Thai unit here in native Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's 22 years old, very young, making his debut here, fighting out of the red corner against a 1-1 opponent who has some decoration in combat sports himself, with a 1-1 record in MMA, 1-0 kickboxing and 1-0 boxing overall. Lost his last fight by rear naked choke though, did his opponent, so there will be some room here for Thiago Marques to make up some ground here and try to get his career underway. Not looking phased here, making strong eye contact with his opponent there. Looking very cool, very confident in the Spartacus arena here. The Spartacus prep point here, getting his final instructions and checks by medical officials. Of course, safety is always paramount for fighters. There's a lot on the line for a debuting fighter like this. Can always be swayed one way or the other depending on how they show up and show out. Here we go, some flyweight action about to get underway, and we'll throw it back into the cage for the official introductions with RMC.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first fight of the night, bout in the flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding up at 3 wins, 1 loss. He stands at 1.73 meters, weighing at 56.6 kilograms, representing RG champions, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Matheus Alex Pintinho! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up 1 win, 1 loss. He stands 1.68 meters, weighing at 57.2 kilograms, representing Thai unity, fighting out of São Paulo, Thiago Marques. The referee for this fight will be Renato Souza.
Renato Souza, our referee for our first contest of the night here between Thiago Marques and Matheus Souza. Oh, a big shot straight away, pouring it on is Thiago Marques. No messing around, and Thiago Marques gets his second MMA victory here. A massive finish immediately, not here to make up the numbers. Stunning his opponent Matheus immediately right out the gate for a thunderous knockout. That's got to be one of the fastest knockouts we've ever seen here at Spartacus MMA. Took his opponent by surprise with a right hand and got the kick, dropping his opponent and leaving him stunned in the corner. Renato Souza, our referee, had no chances or opportunities to give him the benefit of the doubt. No wasting time tonight. Matheus getting some final checks here. A bloody nose after being stunned very, very early there. Get out on our replay here. Caught the leg kick if they both came out ferocious and fast. Pushed him into the corner with a beautiful overhand right from Thiago Marques there, which dropped Matheus Souza, and he just poured the shots on the lefts and rights in flurries. His opponent had no idea what was going on there. Fantastic finish for Thiago Marcos now, who stands at an MMA record of 2 wins and 1 loss. Not a drop of sweat on either man. Fantastic display here to get the night started with some real fireworks here for our first show of December.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 9 seconds of the round 1. Declared winner by TKO, Thiago Marques.
Thiago Marques there with his stunning knockout in 9 seconds of the very first round. Blistering performance there. Spartacus flyweights better take note. They have a new man on the way up here.
Of the night, bout in the bantamweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Frederico Werner.
Are fired up and ready to go. Frederico Werner here. Entering the contest with a decorated record so far, 6-2 in MMA competition, and rides a 3-fight win streak into this with those dead eyes as he looks directly into us in the camera here. 3-fight win streak, and his last 2 by submission, 1 by armbar and 1 by a slick anaconda choke. He brings a lot of decorative skills into the cage here in this bantamweight contest. A fellow Sao Paulo, Brazil, just like Marcos just before. The 23-year-old is looking to make his mark right here in Spartacus, in a Spartacus battleground. The ice cold stairs, if looks could kill, ladies and gentlemen. Applying the Vaseline here to protect our fighters at all costs as we go to war. Frederico fights out of Internis MMA 13 in Sao Paulo. Decorated gym in the regional scene in its own right. And he steps in an attempt to claim his 7th MMA victory and his 4th straight win in his career.
And welcome to the red corner, Gabriel Hart.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
And it is time to play the game as Gabriel Lango Hart enters to the sounds of wrestling legend Triple H, looking to make an intimidation here. The 3-1 amateur has a decorated grappling background. Fights out of the Power Lotus team here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Very young man, only 17 years of age here, amassing that record. He has nothing to mess around with. Looking very confident into the game here as he makes his way to the Spartacus fight ground. Looking very, very loose. An early contender for walkout of the night with this anthem.
Don't you forget there's a price you can pay, 'cause I am the game and I want to play.
Our first bantamweight contest of the night here between Gabriel Hart, 17-year-old, and Federico Werner. What should be a fiery fight as they both lock eyes for the first time in fight night here. Both with ice in their veins and daggers in their eyes as they make eye contact.
It's all about the game, and how you play it. It's all about control, and if you can take it.
And to remind you to download the Spartacus app for free fights every Saturday night, live on the Spartacus app. Have yours in the live chat, maybe even find a fight for yourself. And we throw it to Tom Munoz to get this one underway.
Our next contest is set in the bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding up a 6 wins, 2 losses. He stands 1.77 meters, weighing at 61.1 kilograms, representing Insanes MMA 013. Fighting out of Guarujá, São Paulo, Frederico Werner! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up 3 wins, 1 loss. He stands 1.75 meters, weighing at 60.6 kilograms, representing Power Lots team, fighting out of São Paulo, Gabriel Lango Hart. The referee for this fight will be Marcelo Paulista.
Marcelo Paulista to get this one underway here. 17 and 23-year-old. Oh! Gabriel Hart takes big shots immediately as he comes out, a big left and right. But Federico Werner not fazed by it immediately. Gabriel Hart shoots for the takedown here as Federico Werner tries to get the underhook against the cage here. This is already, can you believe it, our longest fight of the night, just only 20 seconds in. And the fight's taken straight to the ground, with Federico in top control here. Beautiful transition to a north and south as he delivers some extra shots to the body here. A little warning from the referee to watch the spine. A very nice recovery back to the feet from Gabriel Hart though. Trying to tie up them legs Khabib Nurmagomedov style is Gabriel Hart here in full mount. Progressing to the back here. Oh, now he gets to full mount and he's raining the shots down. A topsy-turvy battle so far, with each fighter getting a little one thin over the other. And a strong full mount here. Gabriel Hart recovering well from the early flurry that he took from Federico Werner. Werner doing all he can here to try and get his man off the top of him. Very, very flexible position here. But Gabriel Hart watching for the calf buster here. The grappling of Gabriel Hart though not seeming too fazed about this leg lock position. Federico gave it a go but finds himself back on his back again here now. The referee's closely watching this one. Some very good displays here of jiu-jitsu from these two young prospective fighters. And a switch to the armbar here from Federico Werner, and he's reaping for that arm. And he's trying to stack him. Hart trying to stack him and finding success so far. Hart doing the right thing here, leaving no space, no pressure between the two, but being in full guard, sorry, being that low down isn't usually the greatest place to be. Big shots raining down from Gabriel. He's mixing it up here well with his transitions. Werner playing the open guard here. Hart unaware and not able to take the most of it here, make the most of it. Big shots here from Gabriel Hart, raining down hard. And early close to the round here. Only 3-minute rounds this. A very fun hectic here between Gabriel Hart and Federico Werner. We saw a little bit of the early stand-up trading straight away as the two came out. Saw left and right, lands clean from Werner onto Hart, and Hart shoots for that takedown. A big Hail Mary shoot after taking 2 or 3 big shots on the feet. A very top-turning fight, as you can see in our replay here, ladies and gentlemen. Good displays from both young battlers so far in this bout. And here we go for the second round. Some heavy breathing from the corner of Gabriel Hart. Werner looking the much fresher of the two here. Gabriel's taking a knee here, needs to get back to his feet. Marcelo Paulista here, getting round 2 underway, and here we go, straight out. The second of 3-minute rounds if we need them, and just like the first round, Werner comes out and lands a flush 1-2 that forces Hart to clinch against the cage straight away. Lango having a little bit of success here, but a very nice transition here and rotation from Federico Werner. Looking the much slicker of the two here in the grappling outings. He's got a hold of that head here, and Hart just escapes it. As we see, it is very much the same as the first round here. Gabriel Hart back on top, slugging some shots down in a scrappy affair between the two battlers here in the second round. We find ourselves halfway through here, and Federico Werner always threatening with arm bars and submissions from the bottom here. Very comfortable and loose hips on the back, on his back. But Hart is just trying to throw down shots whenever he can. And Werner's face is starting to show a little bit of wear and tear from those shots. But the armbar is on, and the triangle armbar is on Hart here. Left himself in there for too long, and Werner snapping it on, and Hart trying to escape, trying to get ahead. He's like over the head and manages to escape a very dangerous position there. That Werner looked like he had cranked and looked like he was seeing stardom and glory on the horizon with that one. A great affair here as we enter the last minute of the second round. Werner looking very threatening off his back and taking his time here. Again, another armbar attempt from belly. Down armbar and big shot from Hart again. A lot of full guard and open guard play here from the duo. Both adversaries putting it all on the line here in their respective bantamweight clash. Another armbar attempt from Federico Werner. They're becoming a little bit easy to spot here as big shots are raining down from Gabriel Hart. Left and right, landing as the second round comes to a close. Fantastic stuff from the two young fighters here. The third round coming up, and Werner looking the worst of the two men here from that late flurry from Gabriel Hart. Big shots, as you can see there, and another trying armbar attempt here that nearly worked, nearly came to fruition for Werner. Not having too much success on his back though, as much as he is trying. We're getting into the deep waters now, ladies and gentlemen, where it comes down to who wants it more. Big deep breaths, a big third round coming. Head over to the Spartacus app and let us know who you have winning this fight. A very fun outing after a blistering start to the fight. Spartacus MMA 23 at the Grand Prix is delivering thus far. Referee making sure Federico Werner wants to continue here. Our residency mop man getting in the cage, making sure everything is safe to continue for these two fighters. It's the third and final round is underway. Gabriel Hart in the red, Federico Werner in the blue, and they both begin to trade on the feet. As Hart yet again, 3 rounds in a row, shoot for a takedown immediately, and he gets it. He puts Werner straight on his back. Playing the full guard game again, staying close to Werner's chest here, leaving no space for the native Sao Paulo man to escape here at all. The referee warning Werner to get his feet out of the cage here. Not allowed in the sanctioned MMA rules here. There's nothing wrong with placing your feet on the cage, but you cannot place fingers or toes through the cage to create any leverage. Hart again pouring it on here, trying to drain the life out of Werner with this top game. Werner trying to answer back, staying loose, but taking a couple of shots, but he's taking a licking, but he's keeping on ticking here in our second fight of the night. And a progression to side control here. Half guard, back straight into full guard with Gabriel Hart still on top. A very active ground game though from Federico Werner. You can't dismiss in today's sport the importance of having a strong ground game like that. Just sitting on top in a top position doesn't necessarily mean you will win the fight these days. Under the new rules, you must work and work and work. Hart looking to get some space here though, as Werner tries to sweep his man over. As the two become more afraid, it's becoming harder to do things, as Hart just sublimely passes straight to the mount, keeping that pressure on, but really needs to sit back, and if he's going to hunt for the finish here, posturing back, and he's letting the hands fly. No success though, as the two find themselves yet again clinched in this all-out grappling affair in the third round here. The referee watching closely, but Werner not in any serious trouble so far. He's looked very slick on his back and has offered the most off his back so far of the two. But the big hammer fists now, the big shots coming down whenever Hart is able to make space, and he's going for the rear naked choke with a big hammer fist to create some separation. Flurries of punches as he takes it back for the first time in the fight. 10 seconds to go and he's pouring it on. And a big scramble here towards the end. Let's Werner out of the way, out of danger, and that's that. For the first time tonight, our two very tired lads will go to decision. An incredible fight we just witnessed there from these two absolute warriors of the Spartacus cage. Here we go to the replay. You see more of that we've seen over the last two over the course of the 3 rounds. Constant shots from the full mount and the full guard from Gabriel Hart. as Lango pulls the shots on. That may be what sways that last round. It was a very dominant third round for the native Sao Paulo runner, as he looks to improve his record to 4-1. Very emotional after that win, put it all on the line. Very loose on his feet, full of life here, as our judges calculate their scorecards as we await the official decision. Marcelo Paulista brings the fighters to the middle, as Tom Munoz RMC looks to make this one official in the centre of the Spartacus cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, the judges scored 30-27, 13-27, and 30-26. Declared winner by unanimous decision, Gabriel Lango Hart!
Lango picks up the unanimous decision victory here, taking his record to 4-1 after a dominant display. And we take it back to the replay here. Over the course of the fight, he recovered well from the early onslaughts. Big takedowns as we saw throughout the fight, clearly swaying the judges. Lots of ground and pound and lots of submission escapes and transitions sway the fight in the favour of the Sao Paulo man in the red corner, Gabriel Lango Hart, and we look forward to having the 17-year-old back on Spartacus very, very soon. As you can see, he just overwhelmed over the course of the 9-minute fight. He just managed to overwhelm Federico Werner whenever he had the opportunity on the feet and whenever he had the opportunity to get the fight to the ground. And of course, remember, you can head over to Spartacus MMA and download it from your App Store and the iOS Store, wherever you get your apps from. Have yourself in the capture.
Cause tables turn. Only one I trust is me in this cold ass world.
And let's have a moment to introduce you to one of our main sponsors. If you wanted to understand what Web3 is and how blockchain works, now you have a great chance to do so. Main card is a fantasy betting platform letting you both earn by predicting the results of sports events and educating yourself on the basics of the Web3 space. It works by players getting NFT cards, aka the main cards, to make predictions on MMA as well as any other sport in real time. Accurate fantasy votes lead to gaining points. By the end of every week, the most effective managers get up to $5,000 in crypto. And we throw it into the cage for our third fight of the night.
Spartacus MMA presents the third fight of the night, bout in the bantamweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Davi Menezes.
A stoic David Menezes making his way to the cage here. Another bantamweight contest. Fighting out of the shoot box gym in Curitiba, Brazil, the place of many legends. Over the course of MMA history, I mean, we don't know too much on David Menezes this far in his career, but if he's coming out of a gym as decorated as the Shootbox Monstro MMA gym in Curitiba, see there, decorated corner, you know exactly the kind of fight he was going to be. He's going to have knockouts on his mind. Very skilled striking Muay Thai and BJJ gym. The man steps in the blue corner. Fighter safety always paramount as Menezes makes his way into the cage.
And welcome to the red corner, Saulo de Almeida.
Saulo de Almeida Lopez fighting out of Team Lucas Mineiro here in native Sao Paulo, Brazil. As you saw, his fans there just giving him a little bit of encouragement. The 27-year-old making his way to the cage here. Also, not too much information on him as we enter the cage. Nice and cool walking in compared to his foe that we just saw before in David Menezes. Very stoic figure. And again, to remind you, you can always head over and download the Spartacus app for free for Fights Live. Free every single Saturday. Have your say in the live chat. Let us know who you think's winning. Let us know your fights of the night. And if you're a fighter watching, hey, you can always find yourself some opposition and get yourself on a future Spartacus card. They're changing the game in terms of how you matchmake in if you're familiar with it, the Tinder style. Swiping left and right on a fighter that meets your style and your level, and try and work your way through the rankings to championship stature. Spartacus is changing the game as Saulo de Almeida Lopez enters the cage, and here we go. We'll hand it over to Tom Munoz, our favourite bearded MC, to get this one underway.
Our next contest is set in the bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, This is your MMA debut. He stands 1.66 meters, weighing at 61.3 kilograms. Representing Chute Box Monstro, fighting out of Curitiba, Paraná, Davi Sinistro Menezes. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up an undefeated 1 win. He stands 1.70 meters, weighing at 61.1 kilograms. Representing Team Lucas Mineiro, fighting out of São Paulo, Saulo de Almeida. The referee for this fight will be Renato Souza.
Renato Souza to get this one underway as we go to our tail of the tape. The 1-0 Saulo de Almeida Lopez, the 1-0 against the debuting David Menezes. Here, both Brazil natives. Almeida Lopez in the red, Menezes in the blue. 3 3-minute rounds should we need them as these two trade immediately out the gate. A very, very tense start here. Some nice combinations there in the counters from David Menezes. You know, when you have a debuting fighter, you never know really what to expect in terms of how raw they're going to be and how much that adrenaline is going to hit them. But Menezes looks like he's got it well under control here. The level of fighters that you see these days, it's not the raw swinging novices that we used to get. In the old days of MMA, everybody looks like they've had 5 or 6 fights before they've even stepped foot in there. As the level has changed, the game has changed. Here at Spartacus MMA, the Grand Prix, our 23rd live MMA show. This one happening under amateur rules, hence the shorter rounds you'll be seeing here. 3 3-minute rounds. As Renato Souza, the referee, looks over. A big counter left there attempt from Menezes in the blue. Just misses, and that's been the tail of his fight so far. Beautiful low leg kick there, looking to attack the perineal nerve in that front leg of De Almeida Lopez. Very composed fighters, considering they only have. This is the second fight overall for the pair of them, really. Very, very good display of fights here, as always at Spartacus MMA. We go to the clinch for the first time in this fight. Nice knees inside from Menezes, who's looking very, very calm and composed here. Not rushing to get his man out of there. Menezes here trying to go for the high crotch lift here and trying to sweep that leg to get Saulo de Almeida down to the ground. No such luck, but goes back to working that leg. He's been having success with so far. Very good head control as well, grinding on the jaw of De Almeida Lopez against the fence, giving him no pressure. The final 10 seconds of the round. Almeida nearly gets taken down, but beautiful defence to counter it. Fan first round and a bit of mutual respect between the two there. Very, very good defensive wrestling on display from De Almeida Lopez. On display in that first round there. And a very good opening round in the career of a very, very nice leg kick. Menezes displaying some very good control here for his very first fight. A very commendable effort so far, showing a little bit of wear and tear on his face. A couple of nicks there, a little mouse under his eye. Also the same showing on his adversary across the cage, a mouse under that left eye from those counter right hands that have just been clipping Saulo. Very fun first round there. Two well-experienced corners advising the fighters here as we get ourselves set for round number 2. Renato Souza, our referee, getting action underway here again. Second round, 3-minute rounds if we do need them. De Almeida in the red and Menezes in the blue. Loving this Spartacus fight kits that have come to evolve here. Oh, a beautiful right hand. Oh, a beautiful left hook. These men are trading. They have come out with a different style the second round. Taking a licking and keeping on taking at the pair of them, and we see a different style here, completely different from the first round, as Menezes tries to put the pressure back on, forcing Lopez off the fence, and a very nice rotation here to escape it from De Almeida Lopez, and a 1-2 down the pipe. A very nice counter right hand from Menezes in the centre of the cage. These two men stand now willing to trade. A minute gone in the round already in this firefight, and a huge overhand right from De Almeida Lopez catches him. Catches Menezes, but doesn't hurt him too badly. A very different style to what we've just seen in that first round. Everybody's eyes around the cage is locked on this fight. If the men trade leg kicks, whatever you can do, I can do better, Menezes says to De La Lopez. The handiwork on display here for two relatively new fighters is incredible. Oh, just missing with the left hook was Lopez. Menezes answering back with the pair trade. Beautiful left body shot from Lopez. Puts Menezes on the back foot, but Menezes answers back immediately. These two men have no quit in them. Getting lighter on the feet now is Menezes. Must be getting that second wind here in this second round with less than a minute to go. 40 seconds remain in this second frame. A big overhand right just loops past the head of Lopez and misses him just about. Lopez with a head kick just clipping the top of the frame of Menezes, and now the two go back, swinging and banging against the fence. And Menezes hunting for the takedown, but he's just not able to get it. The two find themselves against the cage here. Wow. A polar opposite round as we enter the final 10 seconds of this second stanza. A polar opposite round to the first round that we saw. That was all grappling, all clinch work. Very, very different, very fun. And the duo receive a round of applause from the crowd here in the Spartacus Arena. As you can see here, the two just trading shots, letting each other know what they think. Beautiful right head kick there, just clipping the dome of Menezes. Lopez thrown that kick a couple of times this fight so far, having a little bit of success with it. Those initial nerves would be gone now, and the adrenaline would be flying for Menezes in this debut. He's making a very good account of himself. Here we go for the third and final round of this fight. Nice touch of gloves there, mutual respect between the two. Big leg kick straight away from Lopez, setting the tone. Menezes controlling the centre of the cage. You can see a lot of wear and tear now, the fatigue starting to set in between these two warriors of the Spartacus cage. Crowd becoming lively now as this fight picks up. The pressure being put on from Menezes. And his first big takedown attempt, almost scoring as he tries to go. Oh, nearly got the takedown there. Good awareness from Lopez to post up there with the arm and not allow Menezes to take the arm from underneath him. A lot of clinch work. We've reverted back to the first round from what we saw earlier. That fire the second round. That is a hard pace to keep if you're looking to look for a finish here. The smarter approach here taken from Menezes, who nearly gets his back taken there. A little bit of unawareness there as Lopez gets the first takedown in his first attempt of the fight. Utilises the weight differential and momentum of Menezes to score that takedown and land himself almost in full mount here as he tries to progress up him. Final minute of the fight here. Let's see what D. Almeida Lopez can do. Been 3 fantastic fights thus far tonight of the 12 that we have slotted. Lopez posturing back now, trying to control the wrist and time his shots well, and he's finding a home for the lefts and rights in the full-mount position. Menezes just trying to reach around, and he does give up his neck, and Almeida he's going for the choke with the short grip. With 20 seconds to go, is Menezes going to wait? And he taps! De Almeida Lopez goes through an absolute firefight to pick up his second straight victory inside the cage. An absolute firefight on display there. He remained patient in that third round. After getting to the full mount and eventually sinking it in, you can see how much it means to him here. How tiring the fight that was. Much respect to David Menezes in his debut, who put up one hell of a fight. But the slight more awareness of Saulo de Almeida Lopez clenches on that neck, pulls his man back as we see here, and wraps up the body lock and gets the short choke in from the back. And there we have the rear naked choke in the third round, our second stop. And what promises to be an absolute barn-burner of fights tonight. And we throw it into the cage now to make this one official by our MC Tom Yunus.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 2 minutes and 42 seconds and of the round 3, declared the winner by submission, Saulo de Almeida!
Saulo de Almeida moves to 2-0 with that impressive third round display there. We'll go back to the replay for some solid leg kicks that did set the tone of the fight. He didn't let his man control him too much. Took control of the fight on the feet. Took a couple but kept on ticking. Big knees we saw. Very versatile skill set. And as we see here, this is the turning of the fight as he took down Menezes and got that back. Rained some punches which forced Menezes to try and come up at an angle in which he gave away his neck and paid the price for it. De Almeida Lopez gets this another finish on his record in the third round here later. Again, we remind you on the Spartacus app to go and download it. Have your say in the live chat of the live fights. Let us know who you think is shining tonight and who you're most excited for in our upcoming bouts this evening. And we throw it back into the centre cage for our fourth bout of the night with Tom Munoz.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the face-off, the finalist of the flyweight division, Matheus Feijó and Thiago Marques.
A straight walk into the cage here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the finalist of the flyweight Grand Prix.
The final of the
Matheus Feijó,
Grand Prix here.
Thiago Marques.
Two very prospective fighters here fighting in the final of the Grand Prix later tonight.
And welcome to the finalists of the bantamweight division, Gabriel Hart and Saulo de Almeida. Ladies and gentlemen, the bantamweight finalist. Gabriel Hart, Saulo de Almeida.
Gabriel Hart and Federico Werner, who put an absolute scrap just before for us. A fantastic bantamweight affair between two young bantamweights, very early on this evening, with plenty more action to come on the card tonight. We throw it back to the bearded MC for our next outing of the night. Involved in Web3. If you want to understand what Web3 is and how to blockchain works, now you have a great chance with Maincard. It's a fantasy betting platform that letting you both earn by predicting the results of sports events and educating yourselves on the basics of the Web3 space.
Spartacus MMA present the fourth fight of the night, bout in the featherweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Itaquian Moraes.
Itaquian Marlon Cruz Moraes here, walking out for his next fight of his career, fighting out the champion team in Nova Ikaku, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The 25-year-old stoic as he looks into the camera here for his next fight. The featherweight division's first fight of the night and our fourth fight of the night. He'll be meeting the very soon to walk Emerson Fabiano, the FBMMA team in Sao Paulo. So he is coming to MMA territory tonight. Is Itakui and Marlon. Pitbull 22 is ready to put on a show. Getting lots of new, young, prospective Brazilian fighters coming to Spartacus now. 23 shows in. Spartacus are making their point about what they are willing to do to the MMA game with finding a fight online on your own terms. They're a brilliant, innovative way to find a fight instead of waiting around. Spartacus changing the game in that regard and giving a lot of young Brazilian fighters a new way to find a fight, especially with the pedigree that fighters that Brazil and athletes that Brazil has brought out over the years. This is another great way to have more fighters from Brazil on their way to reach the mountaintop. And Itakui Marlon Moraes is another one looking to make that move.
And welcome to the red corner, Emerson Augusto.
Emerson Augusto, they call him the Apache for a reason, because he is scrappy. Walking to the cage now out of FBMMA, the hometown boy from Sao Paulo, Brazil himself. Also 26 years of age. First featherweight contest of the evening here between these two 66 kilogram scrappers. Safety, as always, is paramount in the Spartacus MMA cage, and the banner, a lot of love here. As these athletes go to war. You know, fighting is a way of life in Brazil. It's as many for a way to make a better life for themselves. Not many have another option that are able to do so. We've seen many tales of that over the years with the likes of Brazilian legends like Jose Aldo and the newly crowned UFC middleweight champion himself, Alex Pereira. And here we go for two prospective young fighters here in the Spartacus cage. And we'll throw it to the centre for the bearded MC, Ton Munoz.
Our next contest is set in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This is your MMA debut. He stands 1.73 meters, weighing at 66.3 kilograms, representing champion team, fighting out of Nova Iguaçu, Rio de Janeiro, Itaquia Pitbull Moraes. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up an undefeated 3 wins. He stands 1.8 meters, weighing at 66 kilograms, representing FBMMA, fighting out of Campinas, São Paulo, Emerson Apache Augusto. The referee for this fight will be Marcelo Paulista.
Our tailor tape here as we see the 3-0 Emerson Fabiano Augusto against the debuting Itaquian Moraes. A big wealth of experience difference here, as you can see straight away on that first strike thrown. A lot of nervous energy coming out of Itaquian Marlon Moraes immediately here in the blue. This fight's set for three 3-minute rounds, and I'm Harry Williams, your commentator for tonight, as Itaquian needs 2 big right hands from Emerson Fabiano Augusto in the red. Nice body shots with the long limbs, keeping his man at bay here. Oh, and he eats a counter right on his way in there, does Itaquian Moraes. Straight down the pipe, a little bit too much here down the centre line is Moraes. No head movement at all. He's leaving himself open here for some serious strikes. You can see the raw nervousness coming out of him here compared to Augusto's skill set. But Moraes in a much more safer position here against the fence. But Augusto looking quite relaxed himself here. Augusto letting the ref know that that shot was really close to the nuts. Does not want to be taking any shots to the meat and to veg as he hip throws Moraes onto his back here. The difference in experience is really showing in this contest. Big wealth of experience here, and a big knee drops Itaquian Moraes. And the referee steps in before Moraes can have any more put onto him. Down and he was out. Emerson Fabiano Augusto goes 4 straight, remaining 4-0, and looks sublime in competition in the Spartacus MMA cage. Maybe next time we could see a little bit more stiffer competition from someone who is 4-0 at this point. But still showcased what he can do there. A beautiful knee stops his man immediately in the first round. As we see there, beautiful right to the solar plexus. That would hurt any man. If you get hit there, you cannot breathe. And Moraes had no opportunity, no retort, no response, and curled up, and the referee had to force a stop there. Fantastic work, and at least his cornerman gets taken down. And we'll throw it into the cage now for our referee and MC to make this one official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 1 minute and 44 seconds after round 1. Declared winner by TKO, Emerson Apache Augusto!
And the Apache shows why they call him the Apache, as Emerson Augusto moves to 4-0 in his amateur career. As we see the replays here, you see the difference in experience and skill was right from the second that they touch gloves in the middle. So the legal tactics there though from Emerson Augusto to hold on to the cage, but nevertheless he recovered well and got the finish with a beautiful knee on solar plexus right on the sternum. Moraes had no response and still felt the effect of it as it went to the ground. A big ask for any debutant to take on a 3-0 fighter. And you can always have your say on this fight on the Spartacus MMA app. Go to your app store, go to your Google Play, whatever.
MMA present the fifth fight of the night, bout in the featherweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Jonathan Brito.
É o GM, é o Lip, emplacando mais
Diretamente, restante da faca.
E uns anos atrás, eu discuti com os meus pais. Tava tudo desandando, fui demitido do trampo e não tava ajudando em casa. Mas não analisei que eles queriam meu bem e deixei minha coroa na preocupação de eu entrar pra vida errada. Não quis saber de estudo, meu pai me xingou de tudo, quase me pegou no murro. Ô menino vagabundo, ô menino vagabundo. Falei que a vida cantou, eles não acreditou. Até que a vida me mostrou que eles tinham medo de eu passar o que eles passou. Ô vitória chegou, Deus abençoou. O barraquinho de madeira, os buracos da telha, ele já tampou. Amém. Ô vitória chegou, Deus abençoou. Hoje eu entendo, eu preciso passar veneno pra dar valor. Ô vitória chegou.
Lots of experience here at 4-2. He's tasted defeat, he's tasted victory. He knows the ebb and flow of competition here, so there is lots to gain from him in this contest here against another adversary as he looks to progress that win streak. After tasting 2 defeats, it takes an awful lot for a fighter to come back from 2 unanimous decision defeats like the fashion in which he did. So in order to come back and get these wins, it's instrumental in a fighter's career. It shows a lot of heart from the battler. The 27-year-old. He will become 28 later this month. In our final Spartacus prep point here, getting his final touches over as he prepares to go and tries to extend that win streak. As we've mentioned just before, had some fantastic fights tonight. And of course, to remind you about one of our sponsors, Blockchain. But Web3 is always a blockchain blitz. Now you have a great chance with main card being a fantasy betting platform where you can win up to $5,000 every month in cryptocurrency.
And welcome Guilherme Bueno.
And here comes Guilherme Bueno, the 20-year-old from Team Brave in Arequipa, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So he's the hometown boy against the hometown boy here. 2 relative locals fighting it out. There isn't too much information that we do know presently on Guilherme Bueno. But time will tell when he steps in there what the man they call Galino will offer in retort to the 4-2 record on display of Jonathan Brito. Looking very confident as he makes his way out here. A lot of these Brazilian fighters having death stares into the camera, very stoic humans as they make their way into the cage. And that's shown in the fantastic fights that we've witnessed so far. Showing the Spartacus MMA app and the innovative new fashion in which you can find fights as a fighter for future Spartacus cards in this Grand Prix special, that you can find them very, very easily. Just download the app, sign yourself up if you are a fighter, and from there you put your details in and you can find yourself a fight, and you can find yourself very soon on the Spartacus card in Brazil, right here in Sao Paulo. in the lovely little Spartacus MMA arena.
Our next contest is set in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding up a undefeated 1 wins. He stands 1.73 meters, weighing at 65.3 kilograms, representing Team Brave, fighting out of Araçariguama, São Paulo, Guilherme Galinho Bueno! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up a professional record of 4 wins, 2 losses. He stands 1.83 meters, weighing at 66.2 kilograms, representing Chute Box, Diego Lima, fighting out of São Paulo, Jonathan Matusalém Brito! The referee for this fight will be Renato Souza.
Renato Souza getting this one underway for our 6th fight of the night here between Jonathan Brito and Guilherme Bueno. As we mentioned, Jonathan Brito with the 4-2 MMA record, winning his last fight to get back to winning ways in camp. Guilherme Bueno coming straight out here with his 1-0 record, not letting him phase him at all. Big shots immediately being thrown by the aggressor here, as we eventually find ourselves in a clinch position here, up against the cage between the two. Big charging takedown here. Campos finding himself on the back here. You might notice that the men are actually in 2 different pairs of gloves for the wrong corners, sorry. Campos is in fact in the blue gloves and Brito is in the red gloves. Hence the corner mix-up on the way out, but here we are over halfway now into this fight. And Brito Gomez reigning on top here, having a very, very good fight so far, showing why he is 4-2. That experience on display here as he chucks Bueno right back down to the ground. Neon belly sliding over into full mount again, showing the fantastic display. He tries to grapevine the legs and throwing little shots on here, looking very confident and very loose in the full mount position. Bueno not having anything to answer so far, and Renato is on top of this action. Renato Souza, a very experienced referee, and a beautiful utilisation of the cage there. Jonathan trying to get the submissions here, showing that grappling prowess of his own. On his back, he's comfortable both on top and on his back, as we saw just in this stanza here. The final 10 seconds of round number 1 coming to a close. Very fun first round on display between the two. And here we go to the replay, a little bit of trading action on the feet between the two. With Bueno getting the better of it. A beautiful counter throw of Jonathan Brito using Guilherme's experience and momentum against him to just chuck him across the cage. Some fine moments for both men in that first round. Bueno definitely more the aggressive one on the feet with the strikes, but Guilherme just not having much of his own way in the grappling aspect of this fight. Brito's 4-2 record showing strong here. You say there might be a difference in records, but so far it's been a very, very close fight. And here we go, the second of three 3-minute rounds underway. Harry Williams, your commentator here, riding solo for Spartacus MMA 23. As Brito Gomez tries to manipulate the distance there, but ends up taking a couple of shots on his own before Bueno puts him down on the mat and sits happily in full guard here. Brito Gomez, as we say though, very comfortable on the back foot, very, very comfortable on his back as well. Locking Guilherme Bueno in the full guard here. We mentioned it before, but he's trying to lock in a triangle here, those long legs. That's why we were saying the problem sometimes of sitting in the full guard with your head on the chest. It's good for pressure, but you do allow yourself to be in the world of hurt. And it does look like he's fading a little bit here as Brito Gomez. Jonathan Brito with the triangle choke, nearly sinking it in. Bueno trying to stack him, his head is going red here. And somehow he escapes it. He escapes the triangle and Jonathan Brito has to let go. But immediately forced himself over. He's going for an arm triangle now from the mountain. He stepped over into side control. And he's going for it. He's trying to move up the body with the knee on belly. He's trying to get that arm triangle in, but he needs to get closer to the ground in order to do it. He's driving too much force from the mounted position here. It's a very rare time you do see it happen. It's very seldom in mixed martial arts you do see a submission from this point. He's squeezing the life, but Bueno doing what we call answering the phone there very, very well. Somehow still in this contest. Brito all one-way traffic thus far though in the second round as we enter the final minute of the second frame. Blood starting to pour now from the face of Bueno. Jonathan Brito not dripping one little bit of sweat. Matusalem showing no signs of fatigue here as he tries to sync up this rear naked choke, and it looks like it's on. A big grimace on the face of Bueno. There is nowhere to go here. He's squeezing, he's tough, he's durable, and he escapes it yet again. Guilherme Bueno gets out the choke yet again, but Brito is not letting him get far away from him at all. Somehow, some way, Guilherme Bueno escapes that second round. At only 1-0, he looks so durable. That is one durable human being we have there. A very confident, very cocky Jonathan Brito there, with his hands above his head already. Still, the fight is not won yet. There is still one more round to go. As we see there, look how tight that choke is there from Brito as he's raining down the chops and gift wrapping his man there. The experience, the wealth of experience on display from Brito. He's staggering here, but he must be questioning himself here. Big pep talk from Guilherme Bueno's corner. Big fire in the eyes here. Hell for leather in this third round is what I'm predicting. from the Sao Paulo. Guilherme, the one and only Guilherme Bueno. Brito must be wondering what's it going to take to put this man away. But we will see here in this third and final stanza, the third of three 3-minute rounds. Some good mutual respect there between the two. A fired up Bueno coming out here, looking to land some shots. You can see it. His tense shoulders, he's ready to explode. Brito trying to keep the distance though, and he times that takedown to perfection, but he has got himself caught in a guillotine here. He's caught in that long neck, he's stuck in the guillotine, and Bueno is squeezing and grimacing for all the life in him. And he's tightening up that choke, and he's now on full mount, trying to get that guillotine in. But Brito is sitting comfy here. Not the most comfortable of positions, and Bueno might just have to let... And he taps him! Brito taps to Bueno. Bueno goes through hell and high water to come back in the third and final round and sink in that guillotine choke after being tried and tested. He comes back and gets the win in unbelievable fashion. Wow, what a pep talk from the corner. An amazing job, well done by Guillermo Bueno's team. The guillotine was tight and Brito fought with all his might to try to get out of that choke, but just could not escape the guillotine. Unbelievable scenes and an overjoyed Guillermo Bueno. Obviously ecstatic after a comeback victory. You talk about your Rocky stories, you talk about your Hollywood scripts. Spartacus just witnessed an absolute movie here. Unbelievable scenes in the Spartacus cage. Let's throw it into the cage now to Ton Munoz to make this one official while we register what we just witnessed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 53 seconds of the round 2. Declared winner by submission, Guilherme Galinho Bueno!
Guillermo Bueno Campos moves to 2-0 with that impressive display there. It was all one-way traffic in that second round, and he looked like he was on his way out. The questions that were posed to him, he answered them very, very well. Brito just could not find a way to put his man out. And he paid for it in the third round when Guilherme Bueno answered all the questions, and instead he choked out Jonathan Brito in the third round in the comeback of all comebacks that we've seen here on Spartacus MMA. An unbelievable fight here, as you can see in the replay, all one-way traffic, and somehow, some way, Guilherme Bueno pulls out the third round guillotine choke victory. And here we see our Grand Prix finalists in the featherweight division here.
And Spartacus MMA presents the 6th fight of the night, bout in the lightweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Caleb Souza. And welcome to the red corner, Marcelo Fernandes.
Toda a vida correndo atrás pra fazer esse jogo virar. Ver a situação melhorar, manda toda a tristeza embora. Em casa nunca mais falta gás, geladeira cheia e Wi-Fi. Deixa minha coroa em paz, tô trabalhando em casa agora e ver tudo mudando. Na batalha dia após dia, sei que a vitória tá chegando. Muito trampo, correria lá de cima, Deus deu o meu esforço. Me dá proteção, não dá de maldade, mas um sonhador nessa grande cidade. Fé no pop louco, sou pecador, mas sou filho de quem tem um perdão. Quem conhece o meu coração, que me deu uma segunda chance. Meu amor, tava junto mesmo sem um cifrão. Sabe que se eu tiver condição, vai ser tipo a princesa de Londres. Na minha aliança tem seu nome. Vai usar Lili, roupa da Planet Tommy. Joias Louis Vuitton, anti VIP e o Paco Rabanne. MC Hobbs na voz, é o Max novamente. Toda a vida correndo atrás pra fazer esse jogo virar. Ver a situação melhorar, manda toda a tristeza embora. Em casa nunca mais solta gás, geladeira cheia e o...
Our next contest is set in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This is your MMA debut. He stands 1.75 meters, weighing at 70 kilograms. Representing Octagon Team, fighting out of São Bernardo do Campo, São Paulo, Caleb Caçador Souza. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up 4 wins, 2 losses. He stands 1.8 meters, weighing at 70.3 kilograms. Representing Power Lots Team, fighting out of Guarulhos, São Paulo, Marcelinho Fernandes. The referee for this fight will be Marcelo Paulista.
Marcelo Paulista to get this one underway here. A massive contrast in fighting experience here with Marcelo Fernandez with 4-2 against Caleb De Souza, the debutant here tonight. The first of 3 3-minute rounds underway. Harry Williams, your commentator, as Marcelo Fernandez in the red, Caleb De Souza in the blue. Get this one underway here straight away. Souza takes a big leg kick and falls, but gets back to his feet. Marcelo taking centre of the cage here, stalking his man down. The much taller of the two. Big leg kicks now starting to already take effect. That's only the second leg kick, but you start to take a bit of an effect now on that leg kick. And a lovely takedown from Silva, who just puts the fight exactly where he wants it to be. Does not mess around in doing so at all. A strong side control here. Knees in the right positions, looking very confident is Fernandez in this side control position here. Souza not looking too confident here with this display. Very, very tight side control on display. Marcelo just showing the experience that is on display here from someone with 6 amateur fights compared to making your official debut. It could verge on the it could go on to the verge of being a mismatch, but we've just seen in our last fight with Brito and Bueno that records sometimes are just for DJs, and that someone can sometimes come through the ranks and cause a massive upset. So we would be very, very careful to call or to write off Souza out of this contest already. But Souza just not offering anything from the side control here. Marcelo Fernandez just having his way with him here with a beautiful little right hook to remind his man exactly where he is, and that this is Fernandez's world inside the Spartacus cage. Trying to get through, ends up in side control, in half guard from that side control. He was looking for mount but didn't get it. Did Fernandez. Excuse me. Again, he's gone for the arm triangle here. He needs to try and step over it, just Fernandez though, but that head is squeezing that head hard and he's trying to fight around it. He needs to try and answer the phone just as Bueno did, but he just escapes in the last second. Saved by the bell was Caleb De Souza in that first round. A submission that looked very, very tight. Again, it was all Fernandez, all Marcelo Fernandez in the first round. From the leg kick to the takedown to the submission attempts, it was complete one-way traffic. From the 4-2 man out of the red corner, Fernandez is putting on an onslaught here. But again, maybe you just have seen a little bit of fatigue now playing into this. How confident will he be? Will Marcelo Fernandez be coming into this second stanza after nearly getting the choke there in the first round, which is what he would have dreamed of, really. The unit that is the referee getting this one back underway for the second 3-minute round here. And another beautifully timed takedown using the momentum of the right straight that was coming from Caleb Souza. And we're immediately back into Marcelo Fernandez's world. He had a big ground and pound here that he's looking for in this full guard. As we've seen other fighters here stay very, very close knit in the full guard. Fernandez not looking to follow procedure here, looking to posture up and create a little bit of space when the time is right. And a very good reversal attempt there from Caleb Souza, using the cage very, very well, but just does not come off to the way that he would have liked. Caleb just remaining patient here. Fernandez taking his time, throwing little shots when he can. Not taking any risks against a raw novice like this debutant here in front of him in Caleb Souza. Great positioning from Fernandez here, just shutting down any and all attempts that Caleb could throw back in his way here. Remaining very, very calm, very, very tentative here. Mixing up with some nice body and headshots on the ground. Trying to work back to that choke position. Trying to get that arm triangle once again. But Caleb wise to the ways of Marcelo Fernandez. But still, it's all one-way traffic with 2 minutes down in this contest in this second round. Caleb defending well, but he's not offering anything back, and he's going for the Kimura here. Fernandez is going for the Kimura, but Caleb manages to get out of the position. And just a boisterous pass to full mount from Marcelo Fernandez here. Caleb tougher than a $2 steak, but he's just not having any luck here. The experience, the knowledge of Marcelo Fernandez, just too much. A very nice swerve of hips there, a very nice scramble from Caleb Souza, but still 15 seconds left to go in the second round, and it just looks like there is no way back for Caleb Souza. Big flurry of shots here to end round 2, but it just seems like Marcelo Fernandez just keeps pulling the trigger with 2 more time left as the ref steps in. It looks like a training session thus far for Marcelo Fernandez. Souza just being a body in the cage for him here, not offering nothing back in terms of offense, pure 100% defense. Remember, you can head over to our Spartacus app and share your thoughts on this fight and all the fights that we have tonight in the Spartacus MMA Grand Prix. This one in the lightweight division, of course. Some big grazes and big marks starting to show on the face of Caleb Souza here. It's all one-way traffic, but could we see, just like we saw with Guilherme Bueno last time round, could he turn it round? And could we see a shocking third round? Renato Souza gets the third round underway here. Caleb Souza wanting to stand and bank here clearly, but immediately takes another leg kick and goes down. The power of every asset and every facet that Marcelo Fernandez is possessing, it just looks too much from the reach, and the beautiful leg kick just folding the leg of Caleb Souza. Souza, of course, in the blue, the debutant, gets experience 4-2. Marcelo Fernandez in the red, who perfectly times the flying knee attempt from Caleb Souza into a takedown. Once again, for the third round in a row, Marcelo Fernandez is on top. More steady work from Marcelo Fernandez here. Beautiful little shots being encouraged from his corner. Caleb really needs to try to get back to his feet here. but the long frame and the long limbs of Marcelo Fernandez and just the pure sheer experience difference is just proving far too much for Marcelo to even tackle. I mean, for Caleb to even tackle on Marcelo. Fernandez just cruising through this fight here. Caleb trying as he might, but just having no luck getting back to his feet whatsoever. Nowhere to go for Caleb Souza in the middle of the cage as Marcelo transitions to full mount here, crosses straight up and fires down lefts and rights, lighting up the face of Caleb Souza, shot after shot, punch after punch. Caleb trying all as he can to try and counter, but he's out. His head was bouncing off the canvas far too hard for the referee to let a debuting fighter, an amateur fighter, take that many shots. Good refereeing to stop it where he did. Credit to Caleb Souza for getting in there with such a decorated opponent and taking on that fight over 3 rounds and getting to the point that he did. But as we've been saying since the beginning of this fight, the now 5-2 record and the 5-2 fighter that is Marcelo Fernandez just proving far too much, and his experience just too much for, look at these shots, for Caleb to withstand. Caleb was rocked, he was stunned, his head was gone, he was bouncing as you can see on the replay. His head was gone limp, he was taking too many shots, so very, very good refereeing for another stoppage on this Spartacus 23 card.
The referee stopped this contest at 2 minutes and 35 seconds of the round 3. Declared the winner by TKO, Marcelinho Fernandez.
Marcelo moves to 5-2 with that victory. A very impressive performance against a very tough debuting adversary. As we see some of his highlights here, very good work to escape that guillotine in the air there and chuck his man on his back, which set up the final moments of the fight with the low body and headshots. Beautiful ground and pounds. We see some of the shots here that forced the fight to a close. 5-2 now at lightweight is Marcelo Fernandez. As we see them bouncing shots. Ooh, they were nasty shots from Marcelo Fernandez. Would like to see Fernandez back in there with some more credible competition in the future at 5-2. But head over to our app, Spartacus, and get it off any of your Apple app stores. And you can tune into tonight's fights and let us know what you think. Is a fantasy betting platform letting you both earn by predicting the results of sports events and educating yourselves on the basics of the Web3 space. And by the end of every week, the winners.
And Spartacus MMA presents the 7th fight of the night, bout in the lightweight division. welcome to the blue corner, Miguel Jasper.
As we were saying, the winners of our main card sponsors every week, the most effective sports managers in the main card games can earn up to $5,000 in cryptocurrency. So it's definitely worth checking out our friends at main card and getting your hands on some of that sweet, sweet money. Here we go for our next fight of the night in the lightweight division. Always a fight of the walkout of the night contender with Guns N' Roses on display. We've had Back in Black, we've had wrestling themes, we've had Guns N' Roses tonight. Big contenders for walkout of the night bonus, if there is such a thing.
And welcome to the red corner, Daniel Ribeiro.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us older, better, faster, stronger.
Daniel Ribeiro here, making his way to the cage to take on Miguel Jasper. Daniel fight Leicester in Guarulhos in Sao Paulo. His lightweight contest, he is 25 years of age. Looking very confident as he makes his way to the cage here.
Let's get lost tonight. You could be my black Kate Moss tonight. Play secretary on the boss tonight. And you don't give a what they all say, right? Awesome, the Christian and Christian Dior. Damn, they don't make them like this anymore. I ask, cause I'm
Now he's fighting a decorated opponent here in Miguel Jasper. We're now fighting out the shoot box monster. MMA gym, you know exactly what kind of caliber of opponent you're gonna get, what kind of fight you're gonna get, whether it's a grappling affair, whether it's a striking affair. You always know that it's gonna be a tough fight. They don't just let slouches from the gym fight it out on any show. Do shoot box monster. Only the best and strongest survive in that gym. So Daniel Ribeiro better be ready for the ball in his hands.
That's how long I've been on ya. Me like it. I don't know if you got a man or not, if you made plans or not, if God put me in your plans or not. I'm tripping, this drink got me saying a lot, but I know that God put you in front of me. So how the hell could you front on me? It's 1,000 yous, it's only one of me. I'm tripping,
Our next contest is set in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This is your MMA debut. He stands 1.77 meters, weighing at 69.9 kilograms, representing Chute Box Monstro, fighting out of Porto Alegre, Rio Grande do Sul, Miguel Jasper. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up undefeated 2 wins. He stands 1.78 meters, weighing at 69.7 kilograms, representing Fight Last, fighting out of Guarulhos, São Paulo, Daniel Macena Ribeiro. The referee for this fight will be Renato Souza.
Renato Souza, our referee, as we go to the tail of the tape. Daniel Ribeiro, the 2-0 undefeated fighter here, taking on Miguel Jasper, the newcomer to the cage, making his debut. A riveting outcome here as Daniel Ribeiro in the red takes on Miguel Jasper in the blue. Harry Williams, your commentator here, riding solo for Spartacus 23. A very tentative affair as this fight begins here. But a beautiful counter there from Ribeiro to close the distance. Miguel looking for that guillotine immediately. Big clinch game here. A lot of work being put in here as Daniel is just trying to take his man to the ground here. He had a high crotch lift then and a leg trip for a second, but he's battling with Miguel Jasper here for all that he can to try and get him down to the ground. And can we just take a minute to recognise the footwear on display from the referee? Absolute beauty. Again, a rough and tumble kind of fight we're on display here. Ribeiro just trying to get his man to the ground, but Jasper showcasing in a debut some tough cauliflower ears on the boy already. Clearly a decent grappler here, a decorated grappler, putting as much on the line as he can here. Taking his time against a much more decorated and experienced opponent, who again hits that 1-2 combination and finally gets the takedown on his adversary. This is where Daniel Ribeiro will want the fight. You don't ever really want to stand with a slugging newcomer to the cage. Upsets can happen, and they will happen. We've seen them many times before. You do not want to get into a brawl with a brawler, and this is a smart place for Ribeiro to be as he tries to get out of half guard and progress to side control up against the fence. A strong offering in the first round there from Ribeiro, showing why he is exactly why he is 2-0. Initially countered the striking, got the leg and took his man to the ground. Took his time in doing so, but eventually got there and persisted. Then got his justice, got his due rewards. Beautiful takedown. You can see the deep breaths already showing on the newcomer that is Miguel Jasper in the blue. He might be 0-0, but he's putting up one hell of a contest here against an undefeated opponent. But as we say, shoot box, don't just let anybody fight out of there, Jim. So clearly they've seen something in Jasper to allow him to take on an undefeated opponent in this regard. And Renato will get these guys underway again for the second of three 3-minute rounds should they need them. Beautiful switch footwork there from Ribeiro to try and catch him, but he ends up in a guillotine of his own. Not completely on. Did he try to turn out of it? Oh, and he ends up giving up his back in the process. Ribeiro fighting on instinct to get out of that submission alone there. And now Jasper hooked round the back like a little backpack on Ribeiro. Very nice experience from Ribeiro there to shake Jasper off him. waited for the moment he felt loose and then shook him off. Not so nonchalantly. You can see the inexperience of Jasper showing here though, just grabbing the feet for no reason, leaving his head unprotected. And Ribeiro will be looking to fire some shots down on his head. That's for sure, as we can see now, yes. Halfway through the second frame. And it's all, once again, Ribeiro. Jasper's had his moment with that little back take, but outside of that, he hasn't offered all that much in this contest. Ribeiro dominating so far. And surely on his way to becoming 3-0, should he continue this onslaught. Big hammer fists here from these two prospective lightweight fighters. Oh, and he turns over big shots, and he didn't want no more. And Jasper loses by TKO in the second round from an overall dominative performance to send Daniel Ribeiro 3-0, 3 straight wins. Looking dominative, fantastic, doing so and clearly fired up. As much control as he had, it wasn't completely all one way. He answered a couple of questions, but we would like to see him in there again against more difficult, more offering of opposition. And the same goes for Miguel Jasper as well. We'd definitely like to see him back against a much fairer line of competition, much more even competition, we should say, in the Spartacus cage. Some beautiful ground and pound here to set up that finish. It felt like it was coming for a long time. After he tried to get that rear naked choke, it looked like he had no more answers or no more questions for Daniel Ribeiro. It's left him open to that big TKO finish in the third round. In the second round, I should say. And here we go for our official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 1 minute 57 seconds of the round 2. Declared winner by TKO, Daniel Macena Ribeiro.
Daniel Ribeiro there with another stellar performance as he moves to 3-0 inside the cage.
And welcome to the face-off of the finalist of the lightweight division,
Ribeiro just offering no resistance on the debuting Miguel Don Jasper. The body shot starting to wear. You can see the grimace on the face there. Ribeiro alerted him and followed through. And here we go for our lightweight Grand Prix final here. A good show of respect here. Good mutual. Very, very good mutual respect. And with that is on to our 8th contest of the evening.
Spartacus MMA present the 80th fight of the night, bout in the welterweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Luis Oliveira.
Luis Oliveira here, making his way to the cage from the blue corner, fighting out of Team Lucas Mineiro that we've already seen a couple of times this evening. The Sao Paulo native look to making his debut this evening, and he'll be up against stern competition here in this welterweight contest. Now, we've seen some mixture of contests thus far this evening at Spartacus 23. But big commendations on the Bone Thugs and Harmony walkout songs. He'll be up against an opponent tonight who is on a 3-fight win streak, which is no easy ass to take on. Again, we don't know too much about Luis Gabriel Oliveira, but he is from a decorated team who will not take a fight lightly by any stretch. And here we go for our 8th contest of the night. Oliveira in our Spartacus prep point here, where safety is always paramount for our fighters.
And welcome to the red corner, Rodolfo Belli.
And here we have Rodolfo Belli fighting out of the Fight House Gym in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and fellow native, just like Oliveira, who will be standing across from him. Rodolfo enters the fight on a 3-fight win streak, as aforementioned, and 3-1 altogether. Lost his first fight, as we know, and then has been on a killing streak of since 3 straight victories, walking out to another fantastic song in Alter Bridges, Metalingus. We've had a couple of wrestling themes tonight, and this might just take the cake. Our 8th contest of the evening here in the welterweight division, and our first welterweight contest of the night.
Our next contest is set in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding up an undefeated 1 win He stands 1.85 meters, weighing at 76.4 kilograms. Representing Team Lucas Mineiro, fighting out of São Paulo, Luiz Gabriel Oliveira. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This is your MMA debut. He stands 1.85 meters, weighing at 77.2 kilograms. Representing Fight House, fighting out of São Paulo, Rodolfo Belli. The referee for this fight will be Marcelo Paulista.
And our tail of the tape for this welterweight contest is an 0-0 versus 1-0 opponent, a 26-year-old versus a 21-year-old Oliveira. And we go straight away into our biggest fight of the night thus far. Rodolfo Belli in the red and Luis Oliveira in the blue. Harry Williams, your commentator, riding solo tonight for this fight at over 3 3-minute rounds. A nice calm exchange of just thus far between these two similar levels of competition here, which is always good to see on Spartacus. In the 1-0, Belli will be feeling. Oliveira, sorry, the 1-0 Oliveira will be feeling a lot more comfortable in the cage, having picked up that win. A lot more confidence coming from knowing that he can get it done inside the cage. Nice little feint from Oliveira to make Belli test there a little bit. Very nice Superman punch there. Oh, a very nice head kick from Oliveira, and it mixes up with a big 1-2. Belli shakes it off and we continue. Big shots here as Oliveira chases him down and drops him and gets the first round stoppage and moves to 2-0 with a TKO stoppage inside the first minute. And he's cut open badly. He's cut open the nose of Rodolfo Belli. A stunning fast-paced fight gets a stunning fast-paced finish. A thunderous display, wasting no time, and he picked his moment very well, did Oliveira, to move to 2-0. Cut him open on the side of the head and on the nose as well. Here's the replay so we can see from our best camera angle. He just dodged the left hand, but he caught the right hand as well. Oh, it was a big knee that nearly knocked his man out, put his man on his back. A stunning knockout, mixing up with very versatile strikes. Struck high, which forced Belli to go low, and he ran headfirst like a car crash into the knee. Unbelievable stuff in the very first round from Luis Oliveira as he moves to 2-0. And with that, we'll give it to our man with the beard, Tom Munoz.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 1 minute 33 seconds of the round 1. Declared the winner by TKO, Luis Gabriel Oliveira.
Oliveira with a stunning performance here. If you take a look at the replay and see just where that knee came from, there was a lot of success in the striking facets from Oliveira. He looked very loose and very comfortable on the feet. As you see here, he perfectly timed that knee with the high strikes that made belly go low to try and get out the way of the left and right, and instead he ran headfirst into the left knee of Oliveira in a beautifully timed shot. Oliveira goes 2-0 while Belly goes 0-1. Fantastic short mid-fight there. And as always, you can head over to our Spartacus app and follow us on there and give your opinion for yourself if that's what you're after. You can always donate certain amounts as well. Always appreciated. Shout out to our friends at Main Card, where you can make up to $5,000 a week through your correct predictions and bets on fight sports, esports, and any sports on the Main Card website. Go to maincard.io for further details on how you can pick up your share of $5,000.
Spartacus MMA present the 9th fight of the night, bout in the welterweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Leandro Parpinelli.
And Leandro Parpinelli walking to the cage here, fighting out of the Thai unit, so you know he is going to happen for days. Fighting out of Penopolis in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Looking unfazed here as he makes his way to the cage. He has a big task in front of him in the form of Matthew Goncalves, the Spider out of Team Brave. A big fight on our hands here. Another welterweight contest in front of us. Leandro weighed in at 77.4 yesterday ahead of this fight, and the 22-year-old will be looking to make a statement in the Spartacus Grand Prix.
Let up the suicide doors. This is my life, homie, you decide yours. I know that Jesus died for us, but I couldn't tell you who the side was. So I parallel double park that motherfucker sideways. Old folks talking about back in my day, but homie, this is my day. Class started 2 hours ago. Oh, am I late? No, I already graduated, and you can live through anything if magic made it. With so much emphasis. Ooh, they so sensitive.
And welcome to the red corner, Matheus Gonçalves.
Matheus Gonçalves making his way to the cage now. The 27-year-old feeling the occasion here as he makes his way down in his red Spartacus gear. And remember, you can head over to the Spartacus MMA app and give your predictions for this fight, your favourite fights tonight, and your thoughts on anything else, and talk with other people. And hey, you can always donate to the cause to help this promotion keep running, and everything is always appreciated. And if you're a fighter and you want to get onto one of these cards, you're going to be in the right place. Sign up, make an account, put your details in, and find yourself a fight. And you, who knows, we might be calling your fight soon on Spartacus MMA. And that takes us directly into Gonçalves, the Spider as they call him, into the Spartacus prep bar, where fighter safety is always paramount for our fighters. It's our ninth bout of the evening thus far, and we've seen over half of those fights have been finished by stoppage. So these Brazilians are not out to mess about, and neither will the Osasco, Sao Paulo native Matheus Gonçalves be out to mess around either.
Our next contest is set in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This is your MMA debut. He stands 1.8 meters, weighing at 77.4 kilograms. Representing Thai Unity, fighting out of Penápolis, São Paulo, Leandro Recruta Papinelli. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up a professional record, 3 wins, 1 loss. He stands 1.77 meters, weighing at 75.9 kilograms. Representing Team Brave, fighting out of Osasco, São Paulo, Matheus Spider Gonçalves. The referee for this fight will be Renato Souza.
And to our tailor tape between a debutant Leandro Papinelli and the 3-1 Matheus Gonçalves here. Another fight with a difference in wealth of experience. But as we always say here, the records are for DJs, and you never know what can happen when that bell rings. We've seen a couple of upsets tonight, and another one could be well on the cards here. Matheus Gonçalves in the red, Leandro Papinelli in the blue. 3 3-minute rounds should they need them, and Harry Williams here calling the action solo on commentary. Oh, and a big right head kick. Oh, and stunned him. Papinelli with a one-shot knockout. Oh my word. Despite that, Matheus Gonçalves lands a big right hook that absolutely starches Leandro Papinelli, and I am stunned. Papinelli threw a big right head kick that Matheus Gonçalves ate, and then the Spider answered back with a massive right hook that absolutely wobbled the cranium of Leandro Papinelli. The debutant falls to 0-1, and here we go, we're seeing the replay. He eats it, and then he takes a big looping right hand, and he is out on his feet, he is hurt. Fantastic refereeing as well from Renato Souza for these young up-and-coming battlers. Wow, he did not know what day it was there. Gonçalves, with huge power in their hands, moves to 4-1 now in his amateur career. Sometimes one shot is all it takes. And the confident tie scrapper that was Parpinelli was done in one and done in one shot. And in less than 30 seconds, this fight will go to our bearded MC, Tom Munoz, for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 32 seconds of the round 1. Declared winner by KO, Matheus Spider Gonçalves!
Matheus the Spider Gonçalves showing devastating power.
And
here. If we take another look at the replay. Beautiful right high kick, but he just left his left hand too far down to Parpinelli, and he had a shot right on the button, and that was all she wrote. One more time, hit him hard, and he had no idea what day it was. He was on Quay Street and he hit it big time. The legs when he was doing the chicken dance, and the big kibosh landed. It was game, set and match for the Spider
Luiz
Gonçalves.
Gabriel Oliveira, Matheus Gonçalves.
And there we have our Grand Prix final. Unbelievable contest that we've seen from both of these lads tonight. Big showings, and that should be a firefight on the next Spartacus show. To our friends at Main Card, where you can win up to £5,000 in crypto. If you want to understand what Web3 is and how blockchain works, now you have a great chance. Main Card is a fantasy betting platform letting you both earn by predicting the results of sports events and educating yourself on the basics of the Web3 space. You can win money and you can win upgrades and cards that will bring in more money, and it's safe and fun to play. You don't lose your assets if you make any wrong predictions.
Spartacus MMA presents the main event of the night, bout in the middleweight division. Welcome to the blue corner, Thiago Santos.
And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our main event of Spartacus 23, Thiago Benzaquin Santos, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This is his first fight in a year. Lost his debut by unanimous decision in October of 2021, and has since decided to get back on the wagon in this middleweight contest. It's a long time to spend sat on the sidelines, but the 29-year-old has decided to go again You can only imagine how much he has put in, how much work he has put in that year since. Maybe he thought he wasn't ready. Maybe he thought he needed a little bit more work being done in the gym before he was ready for competition. He looks good. He looks ready tonight. Looks cool as a cucumber as he enters in the main event. Clearly highly thought of for our biggest fight of the night here. And our first middleweight clash between two titans. And after an upsetting debut last October in 2021, Thiago Santos will be looking to make a statement in Spartacus tonight.
And welcome to the red corner, Jonathan Leares.
And it's another dose of welcoming to the jungle with Jonathan Leares, the 20-year-old jiu-jitsu specialist fighting out of Paranagua in Brazil, the fellow middleweight. We don't know too much about him, but he looks very cool, calm and collected as he makes his way to the corner here out of a very well-respected mixed martial arts team, OCS Jiu-Jitsu in Paranagua, Brazil. The Bravesque known and represented individual will be looking to make a statement in this big debut here in this massive Spartacus 23 main event. You know, you kind of know what to expect from the jiu-jitsu guy, but you never know, he may just surprise you with hands. This game is more than just a jiu-jitsu outing. And we will see how this contest fares between these two colossal gargantuans here in the main event. We'll throw it back to Tom Munoz to get this one underway.
Ladies and gentlemen around the world, senhoras e senhores de todo o Brasil, agora vai! This is the main event of this show, set in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding up at 3 wins, 1 loss. He stands 1.93 meters, weighing at 82.5 kilograms. Representing TFT, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Thiago Habib Santos. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding up at 3 wins, 1 loss. He stands 1.75 meters, weighing at 83 kilograms. Representing OCS Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Paranagua, Paraná, Jonathan Bragrevski Leares. The referee for this fight will be Renato Souza.
The big man Renato Souza getting this one underway. Identical record, the 3-1 between them. A 9-year age gap between them. Donata only 20 and Thiago Santos, the elder, at 29. And here we go. 3 3-minute rounds in the main event of Spartacus MMA 23. Jonathan Andres in the red, Thiago Santos in the blue. Harry Williams solo on commentary for this colossal main event. I hope you guys have enjoyed these fights just as much as I have tonight, and you can let us all know what you think of the fights on the Spartacus app. As this scramble affair gets underway here, these two very calm grapplers almost going for A novice-like guillotine from the side there, but a very identical amount of experience between one another with the 3-1 record shared. Jonata happy to sit in side control here in almost scaffold position with the hips out. Inside control, looking to join over into full mount. A lot of groundwork has been on display tonight. After all, this is MMA. Some shots to the side of the head here from Thiago, but he isn't trying to get out of there yet. He needs to try to keep moving onto that left hip and try to create some space to shrimp out and get some room, but Jonata stepping over, trying to get a key lock as it seems here as he steps over his man, going for the armbar here, but not finding any luck just yet. He's got hold of the arm as Thiago Santos tries to turn him, and he successfully does. And he gets out of the position, and there is a role reversal now with Santos well on top, and a beautiful sit out on display there from Jonata Andres. Clearly a very good grappling technician. We're in the final minute of the fight already, and Thiago Santos is just stocked and slapping Jonata Andres against the cage. And Jonata Andres just wants to slow the pace of his fight down straight away, sitting right on top of him. Some big shots pouring down the last 15 seconds here. An interesting opening stanza here. He's had it all. Oh, big attempts from both men here, and a beautiful transition to full mount to end the first frame of our 3-round main event. And here are some highlights. First round, a beautiful sit out there, as you can see on display. That even scared one of the coaches. That Jonata displaying some brilliant technician. The techniques on display in this main event is exactly the reason why this fight is the main event. Looking very composed and relaxed, nothing too strenuous in that first round. No man in real danger, but we'll have to see what the second round serves us up here. Now something we'll have to give as Renato Souza, the big man in the middle, gets this one underway for 3 minutes in this second round. A little bit of a striking affair. It's good to mix this up. I mean, you're seeing a much reachier, rangier opponent here in Thiago Santos, who should really be using some front kicks and straight jabs here, but he doesn't look that comfortable on the feet. There we go, he's starting to get loose a little bit. Big, long, telegraphed shots though, and he gets a right hand for his troubles. And a beautiful head kick. He's starting to utilise his long limbs here. Jonata gets straight in the pocket and times that takedown perfectly, and puts his man on his back just as he's come to do. A striker versus grappling battle here on full display. Jonata happy to sit in this position here with Santos. Of course, Jonata in the red, Thiago in the blue. The second of 3 3-minute rounds here, should they be needed. And he starts to rain down shots now. He's really putting the pressure on his Andres. There is full mount. Spectacular transition. Thiago no answer to the shot so far, and he takes the back. Liares takes the back and he's going for the rear naked choke in the second round. The tap looks like it's coming, and that's it. It's all over. Just like that, Jonata escapes a flurry of shots on the feet, takes his man to the ground where his true bread and butter is from the OCS Jiu-Jitsu gym, and puts his man out with the rear naked choke. Belly down, he had Thiago Santos. He made good on his attempt. A massive finish there in the second round. No time wasted as we go to the replay and we see a beautiful high crotch takedown there to slam his opponent to the ground. And he mixes up a flurry of shots as Thiago didn't really know what he was doing there. And he gets the tap when he gives up his back, and cool as the other side of the pillow, Jonata Liares moves to 4-1, Thiago Santos moves to 3-2, and for our main event, we chuck it to Tom Mures for one final time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this contest at 1 minute, 40 seconds of the round 2. Declared the winner by submission, Jonata Bragravski Liares.
Jonata Bragravski Liares makes good on his main event outing here.
The
As we go to the
23rd
replay one
event
more
of
time.
Spartacus MMA.
Look at this thunderous striking and thunderous display here. A beautiful sit out in that first round, and the grappling, you could just see the technical aspect, the abilities. It was a true striker versus grappler affair, and as soon as the fight went to the ground, Santos offered nothing to the level that was on display from Jonata as he got the first round. The second round, rear naked choke, and once he took the back of Santos, Thiago Santos had nothing and looked a beaten man when he tapped out. Another impressive night of fights here at Spartacus MMA. Download the app on your app store. Learn about Spartacus because it's innovative, it's creative, and it's new, it's fresh. And we've had some brilliant fights all over the course of tonight, as we're seeing here, from start to finish, all courtesy of the app. The fighters jumping on and getting to know one another and finding slick matchups, and that was our first fight, which ended in just 9 seconds to open the card with a firefight, and not a sweat was broken. Saturday night is indeed alright for fighting as we work our way through the main card here. Gabriel Hart recovering from a flurry of strikes he ate early on to come back and get the win over Francisco Werner in an absolute barn burner of a fight. Werner was very, very comfortable on his back all night long, but just didn't provide the goods to overthrow Gabriel Hart in the fashion which he expected. He put up a good fight, but Gabriel Hart was just too much.